tell us what is the waiver and who's eligible for it?
So the waiver is a federally and state funded program that is for people with, okay, and I have to get these right, the following disabilities.
Okay.
The first is intellectual disability with an IQ of 70 or below, and other handicapping features would be the way it'd be described. The second is autism in the more severe forms. The third is cerebral palsy. The fourth is Down syndrome. The fifth is Phelan-McDermott, which is a new category that was added and actually is an automatic go straight from application to on the waiver, which is
Wow.
kind of a big deal. So that's five. There are seven. So I'm missing one. Spina bifida.
Okay.
And then the last is called the high risk category. It's basically anyone from ages 3 to 5 who doesn't have one of those specific diagnoses, but is at very high risk of being diagnosed with that. So you would apply at age 3, submit all that documentation, and then by age 5, if that diagnosis, one of those diagnoses had been made, then you would resubmit that information and they would be placed on the waiting list. So,
Okay. Okay. 7 categories total. Okay. And then, so that's who's eligible. So what happens? You submit your paperwork, you have one of these 7 categories, then what happens?
So the parents would submit an application. It's a paper application. You can mail it in, which I never recommend because things get lost. I always recommend you scan and email everything. So you would send it to the APD office in your region. I guess they're broken up into regions. I think there are 9 at this point. And you would also send in, there's a list of other documents that you send in, as well as specifically the diagnosis is a biggie. You have to be a current resident of the state of Florida. I've had a lot of families who are moving here and would think that you could apply, but you can't until you've been here. And I believe they just changed it. You have to have been living here for 30 days now.
Oh, wow.
So you can't technically move here and apply the next day.
Okay.
I haven't seen that in the actual statute, but that's been relayed to me by APD staff. So I would imagine protocol.
Okay.
So the parents would then fill everything out, send everything in. APD has 45 days to process the application and determine eligibility. And then the parents would get a letter or a letter by email letting them know that they have been placed on the waiting list. And then
Okay.
the waiting list.
And then you wait, and how long should a parent expect to wait?
Forever if they're not reaching out. Occasionally, every 7 years or so, they do almost like a lottery. They get extra funding and they'll generate random letters in all of the different regions. And maybe another 100 people will just get a lucky. I really, it's like the lottery. If someone gets one of those letters, they should probably go play the lottery that day. The waiting list is 23,000 people long right now, so it's a pretty hefty waiting list. But, and I know when I say this and everyone's saying, oh, I have to do that and fill everything out and then wait, is it worth it? It's let me just ask you, Carrie.
It's definitely worth it. Yeah.